good where he's at. Good where he's at. Let's leave him there.
This I will say is probably going to be the largest, like, quote unquote single party fight.
Well, when you
we
have
switched over, didn't I?
Yeah, when you have two
Yeah, I
parties.
figured. Spoilers.
Well, we already know what we're doing. I mean, anybody who's been watching knows that we have 2 characters, and we've already had a fight where we were playing everybody. So this is just going to be that times 2.
Which party is fighting today?
I just said all.
Everybody.
Oh, I thought he said single. Sorry, I thought they said single party.
Single party meaning we're all in one big old fight together.
We're all in this together.
Because we're family.
Friendship is magic.
Yes, friendship.
Wait, are we going to Olive Garden? Is that what's happening?
Please?
Best be, honestly,
Oh
at this
God.
point. I deserve it.
That's where Choir's been the whole time.
Oh my god, he's been in Celestial Olive Garden.
We left him in Olive Garden.
It's just
Also,
called
Michael,
Arborea.
We left
I
Baby in
realized
Olive Garden.
I realized something about Choir's character creation that we did wrong. I did,
Fucking enlighten me.
Scourge ASMR and Fallen ASMR are different.
Yeah, they are.
You did both?
No, I did Scourge instead of Fallen. It's very different, and I didn't know.
It's very different, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are 2 different words, Taylor.
Hey, you know what, Jesse? You're right.
I thought you were gonna say something like "lick my toe."
Yeah, I know. I could have fucking put money on suck my toe.
I forgot to say why I'm in such a good mood.
Why are you in such a good mood?
I've told 2 out of 3 people that I have a boyfriend, and it went well. I just have to tell my father.
Why wouldn't it go well?
Because I'm weird and I don't like talking about it.
I mean, that's fair.
I like talking.
It's okay. Your dad thinks you're straight, but in a weird way.
Yeah.
So he'll be fine with it.
It's like the second coming of Christ. Me bringing home a boy?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Maybe that phase is finally over.
I know exactly. And then we'll
Yeah.
get
Oh,
run off
God.
my fucking
Oh, God.
asshole.
So good.
Well, you know, when you move out, you can just like fucking like the moment that you like pack all the stuff in your car, ready to drive to Chicago.
That trans flag is on the back of my car, and I am.
You lower the trunk and the trans flag is right there.
Nice.
There's like
Fuck
it's
you,
like
Dad.
the trans. It's like the trans. Like there's like the gay triangle and then the trans flag or whatever.
You tramp stamp the fuck out of the back of your car with.
I'm gonna
all
get a
sorts
fucking
of...
tattoo that says, "Yeah, I'm transgender." That's so cool. And then click the picture of the kid.
Hold on. That's the worst tattoo I've
I
ever
know,
heard.
I'm kidding. I'm
And
talking
then-
about.
In script
and your
rainbow
dad
font.
can't say anything because you're driving away in the dust and you're just like, eat my shorts, Dad, and then just
Listen, as soon as my gay ass gets into grad school and I have insurance through grad school, this fucking queer's gone.
Anyway, that's a good way to say welcome
Yeah.
to
We've
our-
been
Every
live.
time.
We've been live for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, we've been
Oh, I
live.
know.
Oh, fuck you guys. You just
We
tried to
fucking
goad
said
me
it
into
like
saying
16
weird shit.
times.
We said it more than once.
No, I was talking the whole time. You expect me to know?
So when you talk, you actually actively do not listen.
Yeah.
It's like an
It's-
owl. Whenever they fly, they have to shut their ears so they don't get 8 bugs in them.
Yeah, because they
That's
have
right,
16
right?
ears.
Listen, my auditory processing is so bad. I can only do like I can verbalize or listen. Only one at a time.
There actually is a learning it's something that you can
diagnose me with
no
a
no
learning
it's something
disability?
that no it's something that they actually say, like, you have auditory issues because you have issues listening for some reason, like, you
It's
know, like
the ADHD.
no it's part, like, you know, part and parcel, like, you know, once you get one you get all of them, but like people will
Comorbidity is a thing, yeah.
people will have issues, like, if you're always like listening to people talking, you're like, wait, what? Huh? Can you say that one more time? I'm serious. I need to hear that one more time. And then you're feeling like you're the asshole because you're asking them to repeat themselves, but you legitimately cannot understand what they're saying.
You're
All
just
the
describing
time.
my life, yeah.
That is
Yeah, that's me and
actually,
Michael.
that is no shit an actual learning disability. It is mild, but it is a no shit learning disability that you can actually get accommodations for. in college, where basically
Where the fuck was that
Fuck, I need
information
that.
on?
because
God damn
nobody
it.
knows that that's actually a thing. That's an actual like learning disability, as opposed to you feeling like you're an asshole because you can't hear.
I literally have to ask my animal phys professor every time after he like explains this slide. I'm like, can you repeat that again? But like the short
so
version.
you can go to your disability services office and say, hey, I think I need to get diagnosed or something because I'm having auditory issues, and they can diagnose you, and then they make accommodations
This
for
is
you,
now a
like
podcast.
giving you
Just chat for 15
microphone,
minutes.
I
like
know.
giving you a microphone or something like that. Anyway, I'm done. Sorry.
Giving you a
Self-help
microphone so you can
podcast.
get what
like
in
you
class?
give the teacher. No, you get the
all the way in the
No,
back,
you
you
get the
hear the
microphone.
reverberation. What?
you get the microphone that you give to the teacher, and so they'll
Yeah.
put it on them so that, and then you have the headphones so you can actually hear them better because it's literally
That's fucking cool. I love
Dude,
that.
at work all the time, I have to like stand up and put my ear to the fucking glass to hear people.
No, I have to do that at work too. Literally, just while the espresso machine is fucking going, I have to like
Yeah.
lean 16 feet over the thing.
Because the air unit is like right above me, so it's like boom, and I'm like, what?
That
Speaking
sounded
of,
like that sounded like a microwave going off.
it
Can
did
you
sound
do
like
that
a
again?
microwave going off. And speaking of going off, we've been going off topic for 8 minutes now. Hey everybody,
Okay,
welcome
deep
to
now.
whatever this Jacqueline Hare. That's the one. We're playing on Gilded Tides today, our 5th edition pirate adventure. My name is Michael. I'm your dungeon master. Shut up. Yes, it is a pirate adventure. Sorry, my reflex was to shut you up, but you were actually supporting me. Anyway, sorry, that's just how I feel with most people. Who wants to tell me what the holy heck happened last session? As we tumble down the hill that is the finale of Book 4.
we fought an abomination.
We fought Big Fish.
We
Yeah.
were diagnosed with Cown.
What?
He was wait, that makes sense.
It was like 3 episodes ago.
Diagnosed
No,
with
we got
Cowan.
him for real this time.
Well, yes.
We
Yeah.
finally
We fought-
contracted it.
What happened? We fought the big bitch. We killed
She's
her.
not a
She's
bitch.
not a bitch. She was.
She dissolved into a weird ghosty spirit of the
We
normal
couldn't help
Raven
her
Queen,
bitchiness.
and was like whispering to everyone, being like, "Oh, you did it," type thing. And for Tewa, I was like, "Oh, how I miss you," but you need to deal with your own mortal coils before you need to come over to me. Meanwhile, Noel's freaking bawling his eyes out on Nim after being mind controlled.
Julian, I see you've been attempting to speak for the last 16 minutes. Do you want to tell us what happened last week?
No, I mean that's pretty much what happened. I mean, we fought the twisted version of the Raven Queen. We freed her from her control of Akamar. There was definitely some strife between Tewa and the boys, which will be addressed this episode.
Trouble in paradise.
Yeah, that. And we got out. Everyone got items from the Raven Queen. We reconvened with the clerics. They said that they were going to kind of continue what they were going to be doing there and trying to like bring back up worship. And then Michael asked me a funny joke. I asked him if we went back to Duskren to get Cowan, and I said Tewa wouldn't do that, and we just went to the portal. But joke's on Tewa, Cowan was there anyway. And then and then the groups momentarily got to reconvene. And then we left the Feywild. And we were heading back to Vergard. So
Yes,
I should get a
Go
point
ahead.
of inspiration for remembering the orc town.
you do remember the name of the orc town. Everybody gets a point of inspiration for
Yay.
somehow contributing to that recap.
So this is why I don't recap.
Oh my god, Taylor, isn't that dog so fucking cute?
I fucking love her.
I love her
People
so
on the
much.
stream don't know what the dog is.
I'm gonna-
Anyway,
I
I'm gonna
want to
post
draw
it.
her.
fine, post it on the stream. Anyway,
They
yeah.
better recast her as Harley Quinn in the next Suicide Squad movie.
Fucking dare you. Margot Robbie is a gem.
That is Margot
That's
Robbie.
her.
That
that's
is
her
Margot
stunt double.
Robbie.
That's
though,
Margot
right?
Robbie's coarser form.
I hate you.
Say that. That's,
We
you
don't
broke
say
the
those
NDA. Anyway, yes, where we left off, the plot. as the blackened wing sails its way back into port, V stands by the bow.
Oh.
It won't be long now, we hear Marianne say from behind, until we finally bring that beast down.
Sorry, that was required a response from me. That's V's thought process. V will say, sort of looking out, and says, I don't think we're ready yet.
No one thinks they are prepared. But the time has come regardless. We will fight, and however the All-Father wishes, that is how the fight will be.
Still, we have to be as prepared as possible.
And we will be, but first you need rest, perhaps.
Maybe the others do.
I think we all could use some. Once we make it back to the island, all will be well.
We'll see.
Yeah, and V, as you see on the horizon, you can spot the high peak of Hregutschfell. But as the... Thank you. But as the island itself comes into focus, you see a horrible sight. Flames rise off the shore as dozens of ships surround the docks. As the wing speeds ahead, it suddenly comes to a full halt.
I'm sorry.
As massive tentacles rise over the edge of the railings, the ship is quickly wrapped up. And as the wood splinters below your feet, the looming shadow of the grinning Trezim appears over the deck, blotting out the lights of the flames all around.
Wait a minute.
As
So the
Gilchrist's
roleplay
laugh
was a
echoes, as Gilchrist's laugh echoes out even over the sounds of the screams around you, you mercifully awaken.
Okay, it was just a dream.
The door slowly opens as you see a figure appear. Captain, are you all right?
How long till we get back?
You should arrive within the hour.
Make it 40 minutes.
Captain. She just kind of like gives you a wary little like furrow of the eyebrows and steps out. V, what are you thinking? What's going through your mind?
Gil's laughter is terrifying.
I'm coming for you. Sorry, I'll be quiet.
V is probably thinking that he is not ready to lead some people in to try and defeat a Kraken. And I think he's concerned about the weight of lives that could be lost. Not to say that people haven't died or disappeared along the way, but this is a massive amount of people who are going under one flag to do something that B is leading. Like, it feels like there's more. It's not just a party of 5. There's 2 ships worth of people. There's a whole island. There are multiple islands that V has helped try and, liberate, if you will. And they're all counting on him in some part and parcel, or maybe not counting on him, but counting on the idea that he is going to be able to keep it together, and he still feels like he's just a kid.
And as you, as all these thoughts kind of race through your mind, you take the time to sort of to make ready for port, basically. And as you walk out onto the deck, you see people kind of milling about doing their jobs. But you also see, standing up near the bow, Count. Count, what have you been doing? It's maybe been a few days journey back on the ship. Trinity is not on board. She's still back on the island. How have you been filling your time?
I think Count has been kind of surveying how things have changed since he's left. He's probably checking to see like which crewmates are still around. What's the general morale? I almost feel like he's not trying to step on V's toes, but he's trying to essentially act like a general and kind of getting like the sense of everyone's morale and kind of trying to see maybe what can be done to kind of help low spirits if there are any.
Roll me an insight check.
Cool. I gotta open up a character sheet. Well, I'm so sorry.
Somebody wants Count to be involved and then doesn't even have his character sheet.
I don't have anybody's sheet open. I forgot he's not the inside boy, but 15.
15. Yeah, as you're kind of walking around, there is kind of this. I mean, obviously you get a grip on who the crew is. You know, now mostly people you have no fucking idea who they are. You recognize June, you recognize V, and that's about it. Besides the old man and the bosun. But
motherfucking Grindylows.
Motherfucking Grindylows.
I know.
I think he's eternal. He never dies.
He's actually Akamar. That's the twist.
What? There is a distinct feeling of like waiting for the shoe to drop among the kind of more lay folk about the ship, that are just like, okay, we know what needs to happen. We're just kind of waiting for it to happen, and they're still waiting to hear to the extent of how the sort of mission to the other planes went, in terms of did they get what they need? Are we going to be safe?
Right.
So that's kind of the vague feel of just the standard crewmen. Even some of the orcs that are now aboard the ship are a little uneasy. Maybe it was from being docked in that fucking horrible place for about a week.
Yeah.
But the mood is not thrilling on board.
Okay. Is there any way Count can do something to try to kind of like, instill that piratey jolly good nature, like, hey, we've lived this long, that's something to celebrate, right? If we're gonna go into Hell's Mouth, we might as well go in there laughing, There
is definitely something that you can do. I mean, your first thought, especially after you realize that Desmond is no longer there, he is no longer the quartermaster.
Yeah.
It would be the easiest thing in the world to get him to maybe procure some stuff for the crew that maybe they could have a little celebration.
Yeah.
The only person you could think of you could speak to now is Bosun Smoot, who you two were never on great terms. But if you would like to speak to him, you can.
I think so, yeah. And I think maybe like in the past few days, like obviously he would have talked to everybody that he did recognize. But yeah, Count did kind of kill his boss, so
kind of started this whole fucking mess. Yeah,
Count didn't start the mess. It was already.
Oops.
Look, Akamar started the mess. He was just born into it. Okay.
Wow.
But yeah, he can talk to the bosun.
You nearly adopted the mess. I was born by it.
But yeah, he'll go over there and kind of like he'll clap a hand on his shoulder. And he goes, I'm quite surprised that you've stuck with us for this long. It's good to see you, You look a bit thinner, but...
Yes, well, pirate's life will do that, I suppose. Yes, I'm quite surprised that I'm still here as well, but...
Well, that's something to be happy about. And he claps him again, and then kind of like... he gestures off to everybody else and goes, I don't think everyone else really shares the same sentiment. I was wondering perhaps if we could make things like the old days.
How do you mean?
let the wine run freely, get a bit of music, see if there's anyone who's has a dancing foot on the whole deck. Just enough to bring up morale.
We're getting into port in an hour. No need to get.
This is like over the last couple of
Okay.
days, we'll
Okay.
say, yeah.
Okay.
Um,
I know the bard's dead. I'm sorry.
Oops.
Ooh.
But Doctor, I am Pagliacci.
Can I say that June is nearby?
Please.
And she hears Count say something about dancing, and she'll kind of poke her head over.
Leans
She'll
in.
say,
Hey, do you remember I'm a dancer?
Yeah.
Did you say something about dancing?
Singing, dancing, drinking, yes, being merry and all that.
We can go get Oro. We can start something.
No, we don't.
Come on, it won't hurt. Just a little bit of dancing, a little bit of fun before we get to port. You need to learn about spring court customs. And she'll kind of poke him in the middle of the chest and then bounce off to go find Oro.
I suppose that the Yonti did look like he could muster some sort of dancing, maybe slithering. But I don't think the rest of the crew will be as willing without, their libations being lightened up a bit.
It's not that simple. You see, we have a job to do. There are provisions that.
Yes, there is a job that must be done. However, you can't expect your men to work 24/7. They're going to get sick of it, and as of right now, they look like they're very sick of it. There's nothing wrong with having a bit of fun for, say, like an hour. Or for the evening.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Come on, persuasion boy. Ooh, that wasn't a good roll for him. That was only a 14.
He says, the naval fleet would never have. Yes, I'll see what I can do, provided that the captain is all right with it.
Cute June pulling Oro out from wherever he was in the background.
Oro was like in deep contemplation about Vosky, and he's just like, huh.
But he does hit that very hard, provided the captain is okay with it.
Well, if you do fib and say it's juice, I'm sure he might be fine with it. Besides, I think V's grown up enough to have a drink.
Yes, he quite has. In fact, he's the only reason I am still here. And he turns away.
Count just kind of shrugs.
But yeah, he will allow this this momentary revelry to happen, and the mood is a bit more chipper as the ship does kind of get closer, kind of within that hour, that approach to port. But for the moment, I would say Count is probably up on the bow, surveying things, realizing that the island is getting closer. And V, you see him standing up there solitary. What would you like to do?
Oh. Count?
Come up here with me.
Okay.
He'll wait for him to climb up there.
He's not there yet.
No,
Okay, right, hold on. Just getting over there. Just...
Did you get a drink?
No.
he kind of just tisks at that.
He turns around to go find a drink.
Let's wait for V to get a drink.
V will stand beside him and okay, so, when you arrive, I know that you're probably gonna want to talk to Trinity and,
Yes.
and so, but I know that you're also an important member of this sort of war table, so, I don't want to, like, rush you when you go.
I'm sure that I can do both. I would actually be kind of surprised if Trinity didn't want to be there.
Well, I mean, the babies.
Well, I can swallow one, she can swallow the other.
Yeah, but, I mean, the babies don't need to be at the war table.
It's not like there's going to be daggers flying through the air, or are there?
No.
Then they'll be fine.
No, I just think that maybe they should just, enjoy being with you guys without being around a whole bunch of other people, and maybe no daggers, but people are definitely going to talk in raised voices.
V, there'll be time for both. Don't worry.
I just don't want your time with them to be spoiled by everything that's going on.
I don't expect those moments to be spoiled. I expect to savor what time I have.
Right. With them.
Yes. With everybody.
Right.
He kind of like turns halfway away from the looking outward towards the water and looks towards you, V, and he'll say,
What is your plan going into this Kraken thing?
I don't know.
Not in the slightest.
Huh?
Not in the slightest.
I mean, I have ideas, but
Tell me. I'm, surprisingly sober, given everything.
I don't know. We have the fire, which will protect us, but
Oh, that star thing.
yeah. We have that, and that'll keep the darkness at bay. Or at least weaken them long enough for us to deal with them when they try and board our ships. But there's also Gilcrest's ship.
Gil who?
The person that, for all intents and purposes, is running the steering wheel on the Kraken.
huh. He kind of like rubs his chin lightly at that. And he's like,
Tell you what. If we go and venture on in dealing with this Kraken, and if what you say is true, that this Gilcrest is at the helm of the creature, why don't you and I take
Drop
a bit
a
of it-
house on him?
No, I don't think that'll work a second time. Sadly, it sort of cracked the foundation when I recollected it. However, what I can do is I can take you to drop down on him. If we take him out quickly, then it might make it easier to handle the beast, if it doesn't have any clear direction.
Maybe. But a wild Kraken is also not great either.
Well, it's either that or you beat his head in well enough for me to get influence on him, and then we take control of the beast.
I don't know. There's not enough information. We don't even know where he is, and I'm sure the people over on the island will be able to give us some information, some intel, something.
Intel is good, but
and he reaches out and kind of like rests a hand on your shoulder, V.
from everything that I've recalled from this life in the past, that there are some battles that must be taken with the feeling of heart in mind. I want you to do what you feel is best. This is your conquest. I'm just here to aid you with it. Whatever you need me to do. So what does your heart tell you?
I want you to spend time with Trinity.
And I will.
That's it.
You know in good conscience that I can't just simply go back to Vanguard and... What if you all don't come back? Then what?
Then I don't come back.
kind of like he slides his hand back and kind of pinches his nose bridge.
Just think about it. If the captain's orders is that I'm not allowed to board, then I won't board. But I want to help you.
I understand. Thanks.
I try.
And he'll kind of look back out towards the ocean.
Awesome. We kind of move our way down below deck, where we see kind of call it a makeshift workshop has kind of been set up. And we see Keaton, who now has custody of the Starlight, tinkering with a device of some kind. Var, what is your thought for how you can use this Starlight? What's up?
He eats the Starlight and then splits off into multiple parts and then just hangs out in different places on the ship.
Just a glow jelly now.
Glow jelly.
Ooh,
Not 9 pieces of glow jelly.
it's like a glowworm.
What they probably do is like try to create a beacon of some sort, something that will magnify its light.
Got like a floodlight
Yeah.
thing. Awesome. Roll me a this will be a Tinker's Tools check.
I have expertise in Tinker's tools.
Yep, go ahead and use your intelligence for that.
Just straight up intelligence.
You should be able to click Tinker's Tools if it's on your sheet.
Am I?
It should be on your left, your tool proficiencies.
Yeah, and then intelligence.
And then intelligence, yes. God damn. Yeah, as you're kind of messing around, you think you found a way to get like a casing of some kind together in a way that is not damaging to the file itself. It's probably best not to split whatever the Starlight is, especially if it is like the captured essence of Eridani.
I don't think I should create a nuclear reaction in here.
Right,
So,
but you find a way to actually affix it to something. You'll need a little bit more testing. I will say, or rather, I will ask, because Keaton is kind of the mastermind behind this. Which ship would you like to affix it to?
I think it'd be funny to give it to his ship, the big boy.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's highly armored, so it's not going to go down easier.
Gotcha.
And in that case, it won't necessarily be instantly out of commission if the blackened wing just explodes.
Awesome. Works. As you're kind of tinkering with this and working, by yourself, yourselves, you are kind of a collective after all. Zion.
Yes, sir.
You finally managed to find where Keaton has hidden themselves.
Congratulations, I'm working on land.
Lamp. What am I, a moth?
You look
Oh,
like
yeah, you
one.
found it.
I do look like a moth.
And you look like one too.
You'll just see Zion's like bright yellow eyes just kind of poking out in the darkness, like waiting to see if he can come in. He's just standing there.
Like, Keaton his eyes don't even shift to turn to face you.
Because you don't have eyes.
Just mini clock faces.
Keaton has aesthetic eyes.
Googly
Aesthetic
eyes.
in
eyes.
quotation marks.
It's the only other not red on him. But they'll say, yes.
Oh, I was just coming to bug you. I mean, I'm just got tired of sitting up there on the top of the ship. It's a little windy. And you'll hear the sound of claws like hitting the ground slowly as they step in slowly. You'll hear feathers dragging on the ground.
So, I've got this mostly worked out. I've figured out how to mostly use a telescope to my advantage to create some sort of magnifying effect that will spread the light over a few more meters.
You know,
I haven't tested it much out. Could probably blind both of us in this room. Thankfully, I don't have eyes.
you'll hear a puff of air leave Zion's nostrils. um, I had a thought of my own
Hmm.
about this kind of stuff, and now they're like right next to you, tall and weird as ever. Um, what would you be able to maybe make me a lantern?
You yourself?
Because I can fly if we need more spread. Or if there's a certain area we need targeted, I can
tie my usual lamp to you.
that works.
It's about a good distance. Yeah. And they'll shift on over to one of the many shelves of stuff that they don't have in their endless bag of holding.
Oh my god.
And just pull it out and hand it over.
I'm thinking I can get someone to tie it on my ankle before we go to do the whole thing. They sound more hesitant at that.
Are you worried?
Are you not?
Well, a little, but I'll see this as an opportunity to test that the tile stock actually works.
He'll just kind of nod. He seems kind of in his own head today. More so than usual.
If we focus on a proper plan, I don't believe that there would be too much casualties.
One would hope.
Hopefully. I just hope I can play damage control with it as best I can.
Well, if it's any consolidation, if you do end up dead, I can see if I can turn you into a machine.
Though I don't know how he would grimace, but he grimaces at that. I appreciate the thought, but I think I'd rather let the earth take me.
So a burial, not a burial at sea.
Right. The mushrooms, and they'll kind of gesture to the back of their neck. Will take care of it for me.
Then I
They've been trying to eat me for years.
I've been fighting them suckers off for my whole life.
Then I shall see you are buried underneath semi-nice and moist cave.
Appreciate that, Key. Now, don't you even think about dying. None of us should be thinking about dying.
I haven't gotten that close yet, but who knows. I'm thinking about doing something if we do make it out of this. That'll be fun.
Zion will huff and kind of lean against the wall next to you. And just kind of shake his head for a minute. We've come a long way, Key. Not just the sheriff and the local illegal mechanic anymore.
Both distance and time-wise, yes. We have come far.
He'll roll his eyes in a loving way and just say, Don't ever change, Key. Don't you go changing on me. And he'll stand up again. And probably head out of the workshop.
And don't break the sigil when it's on your ankle. Then it'll be useless.
And he'll kind of wave the lantern in the air as he leaves.
Smacks it on the wall. Yeah. And yeah, eventually you end up leaving. It's not too long after that the ship finally pulls into port. There is quite a crowd that is waiting for you guys. Almost like they've been waiting for a solid week for you guys to get back.
I'm sure it's been a week and not like, I don't know, like 3 months.
Not like almost a year, kind of sometimes. But anyway, yeah, you get back, you see...
with it, and then turned back to go figure out where Oro is. Now instantly lost her mood.
He's probably near V, honestly, so I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah, you just kind of sidle closer.
Yeah.
I think to honor Ollie, perhaps before we get together at the war table tonight, a party in his armor.
Absolutely. I tell you what, them boys have been waiting for you to get back to hear the good news. I'm sure that there is some good news in all of this, and that's when we'll celebrate properly. Oh, speaking of our table tonight, we have a few extra additions we maybe weren't expecting.
What do you mean?
Well, he kind of
I think V would look over towards the docks to see if there's any other weird ships docked that are flying colors that we're not expecting.
Giant shells.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, not weird ships, but you do see like
Thousands of snails.
a cavalcade of odd kind of marine life. Some large, some relatively small.
It's like the fucking aquarium came to town.
Yeah, honestly, it's like the fucking shitty festival in Stardew Valley where all the weirdos and boats show up.
Wow.
Yeah, the moonlight jellies are coming.
But yeah,
One is actually a jellyfish, but like, careful.
There you go. You don't touch.
That one has a knife.
That's the green jelly.
It's a man of war. But it.
Oh Christ!
What? He kind of looks back and he says, "Yeah, the fighting army has decided to join us. Not just the ones from Prosperity, though. The governor has made his way here as well."
Good. Well, more the merrier, I guess.
And an interesting individual. Can't say any of us have heard of him before, but he he showed up at the tavern and requested a room, saying he was waiting for you all to get back.
Blonde hair, centric attitude, impeccable fashion.
Oro says.
I don't know much about fashion, but I'd imagine he thinks it is.
Yes. I can vouch for him.
So you'll take care of that one?
One doesn't just simply take care of the son of the Golden Dragon, but we can try.
Oh!
It's my husband.
Kind of whispers
like,
to you,
clenches his bicep at that, like.
Okay, well, let's dock and just relax for a bit.
Absolutely. All right, boys, you heard him. Let's get their stuff off. As like, a horde of orcs makes their way onto the ship to help kind of unload everything that needs unloading as you make your way onto the shore. This is kind of the section where we're going to be doing some individualized sort of stuff. Let's start with V. V, where are you going? Who are you speaking to first?
I guess V has to go through all of the different wickets and stuff like that, but I feel like it is imperative for V to let Ollie's former apprentice know what happened.
Well, speak of the devil, as you are kind of walking off of the plank and making your way toward the center of town, you see a very flustered man rushing toward you with a great big bushy mustache and hair just kind of flying every which way. And he says, "Well, there you are. Finally made your way back, I see. Where is that reprobate, Master de Fleurs? I have been picking up slack like no one would believe. The orcs keep ripping the sails. I've had to mend them all by hand, and I'm running out of pins."
Can we perhaps talk in the studio?
Are they afraid to come out and speak plainly to me?
Can we talk in the studio?
Yes, well, fine. But if things are a mess, just know it isn't my fault. I've had no proper help. As he kind of, turns and bounds his way back into the building.
Sure, and V will follow, and when he steps in, he will take off the jacket that Ollie made for him.
Yes, I see. Just throw that anywhere, I suppose. Might as well get comfortable. It certainly looks lived in, does it not? And you can see like sail fabric and canvas strung up through this fucking place like it's an old abandoned fucking mansion or something. It's ridiculous. But he will straight up say, he says, yes, throw that anywhere and I'll see to getting you a better one if you'd like. Now, where is that flowering nuisance?
He's not. He didn't. I'm sorry.
What, you're saying they jumped ship?
No.
Well, it's just like him, just like them, to make their way all the way back to Baldur's Gate, I'm sure, or Candlekeep. I'm sure one of the lordlings managed to hire their services, leaving me all alone yet again.
Ollie, didn't make it.
Didn't make what?
When we were at the Fey Courts, and V will kind of talk about it, sort of like very carefully and sort of as much as a captain can, to explain to somebody that, a person has died and somebody that they might be close to, and V will say, and I'm sorry.
No. You're saying that. That can't be right. Ollie de Fleurs was meant to outlive us all. They seem to remind us of that fact always. But. This is all a trick, isn't it? They're going to come out and they're going to see, oh, Samson, you fool, you've been, so upset.
I'm sorry. But I wanted you to know this before you heard it from the rumors or anything. He died, and he's been interred in the Feywilds, surrounded by a bed of flowers, and it's really ostentatious, but...
Yes, they always were. Well, I suppose they're finally back among their people. Then, flowery fool.
And you're not wrong. Ollie is going to live on. In the clothes that they've made. In the lives that they've touched, and through the instruction that they gave you.
Yes. Well, that's all well and good, but I suppose I need to get back to mending these sails alone. In fact, a lot of good that'll do me, but I suppose when these orcs decide to roast me, it'll be their fault as well.
I was wondering if you could do me a favor.
What?
Ollie made this captain's jacket for me. And I'm still growing. And I think it's gonna need mending. And I think if anybody can help mend it, and if anybody is worthy of fixing Oliver DeFleur's work, it's you.
No. That. No, I won't. I can't. I won't lay a finger on that. No. Master DeFleur's work was in their own league. They saw fit to remind me of that all the time. So I wouldn't think to ruin a wonderful coat that they...
I don't think that you will. I'll leave it here. And if you choose to not, then that's fine too. But I'm gonna need to look pretty sharp for the war table.
Yes, well, if there's one thing that the Fleurs could always do is make even the grimmest case look presentable. Present company excluded, of course.
Thanks, I think. I'll leave you to your work, and chances are we're probably going to have a little bit of a celebration in their memory and in their honor later tonight. So, if maybe you can stop working on sales for a little bit, maybe you can come out.
Yes, perhaps. Tell me, what's the I haven't had time to explore the flora of this island. If I might have leave, I might do some cataloging or something to bring, perhaps. When one can't show up to a fancy dress event without boutonniere, you know.
Bring whatever you'd like.
Yes, though, it will never quite be good enough, I'm sure.
You'd be surprised. We're pretty, easily pleased kind of people. I just don't think they have your vision quite yet. Give it time.
Yeah, and he kind of like just gives you a quick nod and then turns back to his work, trying very hard not to look at that jacket.
Okay.
As you walk out, roll me perception.
Oh.
He's gonna cry like a baby. Jesse, we need a big oof in that chat for that whole conversation.
25.
You hear the sound of glass breaking inside.
Oh. Big oof.
Just for a moment. But,
yeah, well, V's just gonna kind of push on forward.
yeah. As you kind of make your way away, Cown.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of find yourself, walking back into the square, and near the well, in fact, instructing, it seems, a group of Triton, you see a very familiar face.
Mm-hmm.
You see Oslin.
Giant woman.
Oh.
Giant woman.
I am assuming. Wait, don't leave. I am assuming that V has filled count in regards to Oslin.
Yes, probably.
Okay, that's all I needed. Sorry, I just wanted to know. Just wanted to know Callan's mental opinion about
Is it
Oslin.
a raving review?
Yeah, well, he needs to change his Yelp review. That's what needs to happen. And I'm sorry, I have a black ooze cat that's trying to sneak underneath my desk. So I'm just gonna move him real quick.
It's okay. I had a black nubbin cat put his fur down my throat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This one wants a chicken bone really bad. I think that he sees Oslin, and I don't think he would really like make an excuse to stop because he knows he wants to go see Trinity as soon as possible. So I think it's more of one of those things as Count goes by Oslin, he waits for like a pause between the instruction, and then he's gonna touch you on the shoulder briefly to get your attention.
She's gonna give a small jolt at that.
You look down, you see a black tiefling.
Count.
It's
You're back?
so are you. It's good to let's toss him real quick. It's good to know that what B said was true, that you came back.
Yeah, my father instructed me with leading, and I ran into them trying to track down the Kraken. So, yeah.
So you're closer to Queen now, yes?
Far. I'm nowhere close. My father's just a general.
You might make it there one day. After all, I think fighting for what's right in taking down this Kraken is probably the biggest bolster that anyone could have for their people.
I'm just doing what's right.
As you should. And what's right by him. I heard the tales about the blood.
Yeah, I've talked to Trinity and we're trying to get some.
Well, providing if I'm allowed on the ship, as per Captain's orders, I have some ideas on how I can acquire some of that.
Choir.
Even Lily, who's on the other side of the door, screamed at that.
Good.
No, Lily, I've made her upset.
Ingy baby.
But he'll retract his hand and he'll kind of nod briefly and he's like,
I'm glad that both of us have grown, perhaps for the better.
I'm sorry.
For what?
I know that running away is not something that you appreciate. And I thought that there was no chance at that time. And like usual, my father pulled me out of a mess.
Well, I appreciate the sentiment. And be glad and grateful to your father. I wish I had that.
Sorry to keep you here.
No, it's fine.
She'll look back to whoever she was instructing with like a rub of her neck. I think I have a few more things to deal with, but if you ever want to drink like old times. The bar here is pretty interesting.
Oh yes, you haven't heard. There's going to be a large party tonight, so I expect that.
As he kind of he's like backing up and he kind of like he like finger guns at you. And goes back. Even though he's an emperor, he still acts like himself.
What a fucking nerd.
He's an
I
asshole.
fucking love this
Love it.
little shit.
I think at the very least we should transition probably into Count making his way back to Trinity's cottage.
Making my way
Downtown. Or rather, as Count approaches Trinity's cottage, the door actually opens, and exiting, you see a large creature.
Sis.
An owl bear, it appears. As she kind of steps out the door, she says, "That's all right. You take care. I'll be back later, okay?" All right. And she shuts the door behind her and turns. And you see, like, in one hand, she's got like a mushroom of some kind, a very large one, just kind of cradled under her arm.
You're like, ooh,
but she
that looks
turns.
delicious.
Let it puff
That
at
looks
Count.
delicious.
Let them puff at Count.
Uh,
Let them puff. Let them.
As she sees you, Count, her eyes narrow very slightly. So, you must be him.
Judging by your narrowed expression, that you have not heard good things.
It's not about what I heard. I've heard nothing but the best. It's about what I've seen.
Well, then I hope that you keep your eyes open. Zion is back in the courtyard.
All right, then. And she just kind of like keeps an eye on you as she starts to kind of sidle away. And as she's walking, you see her neck keep turning to look at you as she's walking. Roll me a dexterity save, Count.
What?
Okay.
For your mental fortitude.
I didn't approve of this one.
To not get blue.
I want him
20.
to get puffed as she walks past.
Yeah, as she walks past, like a little like puff of spores begins to emanate from this small mushroom. What do you want to do?
He's going to assume that the small mushroom is also mad at him.
Gotcha.
So he kind of steps back if he can.
Yeah, with a dexterity save of 20, yes, you can.
Yeah, and he'll kind of he'll call out and he's like,
Does that thing normally do that?
She will stop and she will turn to you and say, "That thing is my son."
Count just kind of like tips his head ever so slightly and he's
Love
like,
her.
You know, I'll ask Zion about that.
Say that again.
I'll ask Zion about that.
Yeah, maybe you want to read up on a myconid.
And like, wait, can he like look into like the brain banks of old him? Because old him has been to the Underdark.
True. Roll me a history check.
21.
Yeah, you know what a myconid is. Her referring to it as her son is a little weird.
That
but,
is weird.
I think like he ponders briefly and then he'll go,
Strange that you would adopt one, but I suppose that they need parentage at times.
You know, for an emperor, you got a hell of a lot to learn about how the things work around here.
No.
I suppose you're right.
Turns
Damn,
around,
okay.
you hear her muttering under her breath, "Fucking adopted." No, honey, you don't say that word. It's okay.
I'm adopted.
No, I think it was more fuck that she was trying to get Stool not
Stool's
to
just
say.
like, fuck. And Mariah's
Honey,
like, don't
knock that off.
say that.
But she walks on past. As we'll follow her for a moment, and then we'll jump back to Count.
That's fine.
Zion, you got your fucking, I don't know, your gunny sack, and you walk into the courtyard. You see your sister.
What?
Yeah, your sister and your nephew.
Your gunny sack.
What the hell's that?
I don't know, just like a. Never mind. You got your bag from
my
the
shit.
wars.
You got your bag,
it's
you
the-
got a
it's-
lamp.
It's the green bag that military folk will have, like when they carry all their stuff, when they deploy and stuff like that.
It's
Oh.
fucking huge and heavy.
It's very big.
Oh.
It's full of nothing but mushrooms.
It's full of nothing but love.
But sadness for the traumatization that we had in the past.
Truth. So I see her, right?
Yes. Just still kind of muttering under her breath.
He'll say, "Why are you talking to yourself?"
Razzle.
I wasn't. I was talking to.
Oh, and then she turns around, I guess, and he's like, "Oh."
She says, "So, how'd it go?"
I mean, he'll kind of hesitate.
What?
We lost Ollie.
A poor little guy. Well,
We're
did they at least get to see the Feywild?
oh, that's where they ended up dying. And
I don't know if that's a comforting thing, but
I don't either. But we're gonna throw a party in his honor tonight, I
I'm
think.
gonna say it is.
And they said that he got to be buried there in the spring court.
that's something. Feywild got a nice shiny new flower, I guess.
Why? And he'll kind of just sling an arm over Mariah.
The shiniest flower
What?
that they could ever have.
What are you doing?
Can I not hug my sister?
No, you just come off the ship unwashed. Who knows what kind of
Look.
mites or.
Do a quick bird preening, and then you're fine.
Yeah, do a grooming session for bonding.
Put down your bag and roll in the dirt. You're fine.
Dust back.
Take a dust bath.
He'll just roll his eyes and he'll just say, "Look, and take his arm off her. I just want you to know that I'm glad that we got to you when we did, because I saw, or I was shown, what would have happened if I didn't.
What are you talking about?
It was some tower of memory, something. And it included things. Well, the thing we're working to find, showed us our favorite thing, or my favorite thing, my favorite memory, and then what would have happened to you if we didn't get there in time?
Zion, you did. All right, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
I don't even remember half that stuff anyway, so it's all fine.
He'll just kind of nod and just kind of bonk his head against hers. Because you know how birds like,
Yeah.
yeah. And he'll just stand and give Stool a pat and say, "Well, I'm glad to see you, though."
I'm adopted.
I think we should leave it there.
Okay, cool.
That's perfect.
Perfect.
I
Tragic.
love that little man.
I'm adopted.
I'm adopted.
Can you please start getting a southern accent?
Oh,
my
no,
God.
thank you.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
thank you.
adopted.
You gotta learn it from mommy
Please.
and uncle.
It sucks.
No, it'd be
Um,
so good. It'd be even less
be
like
so
high pitched and
cute.
annoying.
He's gonna sound like little Gideon.
Exactly. It's gonna be
Um,
great.
Okay,
Don't get
Uh,
me started on that.
Count, you make your way into the cottage.
I actually think he isn't gonna intrude.
I see as the vodka comes into
Oh.
screen.
I think like he pauses in front of the door and like he knows that he just talked
Yeah,
to
Jesse?
Mariah and he was like all cool. Jesus, Jesse.
Yeah, Jesse. Jesse entered the frame holding the vodka
Oh my god.
Are you good?
and a little bit of vodka.
And two shots of
shots.
vodka?
Okay.
Jesse, are you okay?
Just being funny.
Jesse's being very funny. We're gonna
It's for the
combine with
bit.
a bottle
He's
of vodka
goobering.
soon.
He's just
For
a
the
little
bit.
silly. We're getting a little silly right now.
So, Count kept his cool with Mariah, and then once Mariah's gone and he's by himself, he kind of has like a moment to like be himself without the walls, essentially.
Gotcha.
And it kind of he takes a deep breath and he kind of says to himself, and he's like,
Okay. You've rehearsed what you're going to say 20,000 times. And it keeps changing each time. I don't know. What the hell with it?
and he just kind of nudges the door. Oh, not he doesn't. He knocks, and he'll say, "Do you fancy a visitor?"
It takes a minute before anybody comes to the door. But soon the door kind of like swings inward and you see Trinity look completely fucking blown away.
I think he just kind of he looks at her for a moment, and he mouths, "I'm sorry," before kind of holding out his arms.
She'll rush into them
He
and
hugs,
squeeze.
he hugs her very tightly.
And she'll take 5 piercing damage.
Because barbed hide.
Oh,
Yeah,
baby's,
no.
baby's a little sharp.
And
No,
he holds tight, and he'll say,
I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. V told me that the throne got lost at sea. I was wondering why I didn't hear from anyone.
I didn't know what to do. We were attacked. There was a storm. It slid out of the deck. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean...
It's all right. Thankfully,
he leans back.
thankfully, my brother came to kill me.
Did he?
That asshole.
Yes.
What a prick.
I let him
Did you-
win our little fight, but well, I'm here now.
Is he...
Yes, I'm
Did you-
sure that he's moping somewhere in the courtyard.
Can't I can't...
Where are they?
He kind of says with like a bit of excitement to his voice.
Just sleeping in the other room.
Can I see?
Yes, you have to be quiet. And she will kind of, pull you in through, it's a small cottage, but it's incredibly pleasant. And as you kind of walk into the room, you could have sworn when you opened the door that you heard a little bit of like fussing, like baby fussing, but it seems to have quieted by now. As she kind of goes to the door, she doesn't quite open it yet, but she says, "Just be quiet. Watch this." As she like very slowly creaks open the door, and you can peer through the crack, and baby Nikolai, who I don't think that she ever told you what their names were,
Nope.
was apparently fussing a little bit, but you see Ajax kind of like bouncing him in his arms, just a little bit, and she says, she kind of like quietly shuts the door again. She says, I don't know what it is. He's been so good to them.
Well, he should be. I mean, they are all brothers. I was right. One tiefling, one Asimar.
Yes, you were right.
wish that some of the things that he showed me weren't real. But I suppose that I'm thankful for that one.
Yes, well, you're back now, and that's all right. What happened over there?
He'll take her hands and they can kind of go and sit.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want to bother the babies if they're sleeping.
Right.
And he'll explain basically what happened in Shadowfell.
Mm-hmm.
The short, long, and narrow of it. About he'll talk about the journal. I'm pretty sure he has it with him.
I'm sure.
And
yeah,
he can show her that because I'm assuming he mentioned it in the letters or whatever, and he kind of is quiet in allowing Trinity to kind of digest that, and he's kind of wrapping his fingers together and looking down at the floor and kind of like waiting for her her thoughts about that.
She kind of she does take that time to kind of quietly peruse it, and you can tell that she's being deliberately quiet because of the babies in the other room, but also because she is taking it in. And she says, I don't understand. You are this Degas person?
He nods, and he kind of looks back up.
Do you remember all of that, or?
Bits and pieces. I feel like more of it tends to roll in when it becomes relevant. I didn't know what a myconid was until about a few moments ago.
You met Mariah?
Yes.
She's been a godsend through all of this.
She's not too fond of me. Not that I blame her.
There are so many things in this world that... why should reincarnation surprise me? But you're saying that you were this thing, this Akama, this... created you, made you come back?
Partially. Past me also laid down the right cards. I suppose that's why I came back as a tiefling.
Yes, this perseverance person.
His eyes kind of like lower briefly at that.
I won't search for her if you don't want me to. But there's something inside of me that tells me what happened to her isn't right.
No. We need to find everyone who's been... What happened to anyone at the hands of this creature is not right. I can't say that I... You're not him, but I understand you were, and I'm glad you're back. I am.
I think we need to speak seriously about what is going to happen after Akama. I'm not going to expect you to stay in Shadowfell. But I think...
I suppose I can't expect you to stay here.
I don't think I can. And unfortunately, I don't think Tewa is exactly king material.
Talk shit about your own character.
Yeah. Julian's very good at talking shit about his own characters. She says, if it is, as you say, then perhaps it is safer than it was, but
There'll always be dangers in Shadowfell. Even if I were to try to pick up what my old self did in trying to reunite everything, it would take time. People would die. And I don't know if that's something... I don't expect you to want to participate in that.
Count, I do, but at the same time, I know these children are our everything. I should hope.
They are. That's why I'm asking you to consider perhaps for the both of us to come up with some sort of arrangement.
Count, I'm sorry, but it's for you to decide. You're the Emperor. You're the one tied to that place. I won't pull you away from it, but I can't.
He nods. And he kind of raises a hand. He's like, you don't need to say anything else. I understand.
No, I do. I think. I know that place needs a leader. And I know you're a good one. Is there anyone else? That for just a time, just till they're grown.
The only person that I can think is my brother. He's the only other legitimate heir.
What if we find this person, this tiefling?
Would you look with me? I mean, you don't have to. But again, this would be something that we would have to worry about at a much later time. I want to help V. But I also want to spend time with you as well.
I just feel that there is so much. There is so much that you need to do. There is so much that I want. That I think is best, that you think is best. I wish we could do it all, but I don't think we can.
He looks down briefly and then kind of back off to the door. And then he'll say,
Then I suppose we should cherish what time we have.
If you could give me just a few years before you have to go back, maybe we could all go back together. Maybe, but just till they're old enough to understand the difference. And you don't have to stay there all the time. We could go back and forth. We could
Make arrangements.
Yes. But perhaps someone could rule in your stead, a vizier of some kind, an advisor.
I'm gonna have to teach him a lot then.
and he leans back and he kind of like puts like a clawed hand over his face, thinking about how he's gonna remotely teach Tewa anything about how to be a leader.
I'm not.
It's okay. He has two other capable individuals.
They turn the castle into a frat house.
No.
But she says, It doesn't have to be him. Believe me, I understand your misgivings.
I don't like him either.
He's...
I just don't, I don't trust anyone else. As much of crass individual that he is, I think he thinks like a leader, he just doesn't believe that he can be one.
He does have... It's so peculiar that the two he spends his time with, they're all one part of a greater person, it seems.
Put those brain cells together to get something that works.
Yes, I suppose if you were to somehow combine all three personalities, they would be a well-rounded individual. I rather liked Noel.
Yes, I thought you might.
He has royalty definitely written into his veins.
Sorry.
He also has dumbass written right on his forehead.
Look, Count hasn't seen Noel long enough to see that.
He doesn't know yet.
Yes,
No one tell him.
But you're right, of course. In due time. There will always be more time, and should the worst arise, yes, perhaps I can find a little bit of sunlight in that place.
It might come more frequently now that the Raven Queen's returned.
So he did it then.
I suppose I haven't really heard much outside of she's free. I suppose one day I'll have to apologize for tricking her.
It wasn't... Yes, I suppose you will.
He kind of chuckles and he's like, I don't suppose death ever likes being cheated. But
If she tries to take you back, and she'll have to talk to me.
yes, and then along the way, I'll sneak behind her back and grab Choir on the way. Speaking about that,
And he kind of will lean in and he'll talk in like great, eager, kind of like machinations about how he wants to try to use, because he wants to fly a lot, and he wants to try to make it so that he can kind of make it his whole point to drop V off to deal with Gil, and then to try to get as much blood as he can during, so that he can help her with Choir.
Just gotta create a giant syringe, stab it into the back of the Kraken, and just like pull it out.
Yoink! But yeah, she will kind of speak with you on that, and just as excitedly talking about how Father Sullivan is a bit of an odd duck, but he seems to have his heart in the right place. He might just be the one to be able to help. You haven't explored that. You haven't unlocked that lore yet, so
Yeah.
You don't know. You don't know. Anyway, but
Tune in for the Curse of Strahd DLC.
but yes. Anyway, she will speak to that, and then eventually, as you guys can. I think you guys end up talking maybe for like an hour at this point, maybe even a bit longer, as you know. You just talk for the first time really in almost a year at this point. Maybe even longer for you, considering how time works differently in the Shadowfell.
Yeah.
And then into the Feywild, and then back to the... It's all fucked up.
He's been gone for 15 years.
What? No,
We've
but
aged.
I would say maybe we stretch it a couple more months. We'll say around a year since you and her have maybe talked properly face to face. But eventually, Ajax will quietly leave the nursery, and just kind of stop dead at seeing you.
He kind of he smiles at seeing him, and then he kind of does a similar thing that he did with Trinity, and he kind of just silently holds like one arm out. If he chooses to, he chooses to. If he doesn't, he doesn't.
Ajax is hesitant, a little bit, maybe confused by the whole situation. He was still, I mean, he's not much older, but it seems like he's a lot more kind of adjusted, obviously, than when you just happened to see him in the Shadowfell. Trinity kind of gives him a little like, come on, a little prodding, and he comes up and gives you a tentative sort of a hug.
That's fine. He's already reached his teenager mindset.
Right? Yeah, tieflings mature very fast. I know he needs maybe a moment to process this fact. You'll have to sit down and talk to him at some point, which we can do off camera or not. But Trinity will kind of take you into the nursery now that they are officially asleep, and let you see them. And she says, I'm sorry, we'd already lost the throne. We didn't get to discuss names.
That's all right. I would have expected you to name them anyway. It's Aasimar tradition, yes?
Count, you know by now that we are nothing if not untraditional.
Yes, but I'm just respecting what you have.
This is Nikolai. And this is Mikhail.
Why are his wings so big?
I don't know. She's like, finally somebody said it. Yeah, but she's like, I don't.
Because
Not to
everybody's
interject,
saying,
but I will.
Oh,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, everybody says like, "Oh, they're such precious babies, so cute," and everybody just avoids the elephant in the room.
They don't want to talk about it. Yeah.
We don't want to point out the problems to the mother, or we're gonna get our ass kicked, right?
Yeah, but I mean, she fucking knows. Yeah, and you guys like have like a moment over that, but I think we're gonna cut the scene there. What's up, Taylor?
I was just gonna say, I will say Choir's wings were big before they got blown the fuck off, but not that big.
Yeah, no, not that big. His are big, they're floppy, and they're low.
Yeah, they're lower on the back.
They're droopy.
They're fucking purposeless. They're aesthetic, period. They don't work.
They're even more purposeless than Aasimar wings.
Than her own wings.
Exactly, which are literally just for show. She's like a Precious Moments figurine. Anyway,
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry.
Grandma has a whole collection of those that she brings out every Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not to front load it on you, not to front load the heavy shit on you, Julian, but I think we have to have a special sort of scene right now with Tay, Nim, and Noelle.
Are you sure you want to do that one now, or do you want to do a lighthearted scene with somebody else and then come back to the heavy-hitting one?
Who has a lighthearted scene they would like to do? Yeah, that's what I fucking thought.
God damn it. Okay.
Let's do it, and then we will.
With.
Yeah. We'll spend 20 or so minutes hashing this part out, and then we'll maybe take a little bit of break, and we might get to the war room tonight. So Tewa, where are you?
Where is Tewa? Tewa doesn't even know. I don't think Tewa really had anywhere in Vergard that he kind of lingered at.
He's the old
Behind
man
the
on the
7-Eleven.
mountain.
Yes, he's the old man on the mountain. Yeah, there is a big ass fucking mountain up there.
He goes to the. I mean,
if he wanted to make a
ghost.
pilgrimage, he could. Like if that's part of his, he used to do it. So if you want to make a fucking shrine up on the mountain, you can.
I guess like the
It's
question.
the new hanging tree.
The question, yeah, right. He brought bodies to hang too with him.
Decoration, like little ornaments.
He will.
He tacks them onto the side of the mountain with a hammer.
Jesus, with his new scythe that he got. No, I am assuming that in the subsequent days after we got on the ship, I'm assuming that there wasn't much conversation between them.
It's up to you guys.
No talk me angy type of no talk.
Like, I guess, like, Tewa would not have made any outward attempt to try to talk to Nim or Noelle. So I guess, like, what did Nim and Noelle do during that time?
Nim was going to probably try and make it seem like everything was normal.
Noelle was going to quietly feel tortured by the situation.
So there's just going to be nonstop awkward moments where they're like, "Hey, want to eat together?"
Because Noelle takes all of his leads from Nim now.
Oh no.
Andromeda donated
But the
500
spark
bits
is gone in him.
Oh no.
to say, "Oh man, look at that mistletoe."
Special item.
Oh, Christ help me.
Oh man, look at that mistletoe. Michael, get it off your desk.
The fucking cat got it, and then I stepped on it, and I had to throw it away.
Oh
I broke the damn thing.
You gotta
I'm
get
so
a new,
pissed.
Gotta get a new
I've
one.
had it for
Nessie
years.
did the thing that you would never do. Forced you to throw it away.
Throw anything away? Yes.
Oh.
Um,
Okay, so
I know what we're doing with that a little bit later.
It's the
so
Jack syringe, right?
Perfect.
okay. So if that's the case, I don't think that Tewa's going to go off on a pilgrimage, and in fact, I want to make a point that unless Nira contacted him while he was sleeping, he has not prayed since before he walked into the Tower of Memories.
Right. Out of respect for them, the two of them.
Yes. So I assume that once they're at port, I want to know what Nim and Noelle are doing. And someone's gonna be a weird stalker.
Okay. Nim, what are you and Noelle doing?
Probably sharing the, helping with. Well, Nim is like, a worker. Like, he likes to do heavy labor and flex his muscles occasionally. So, he's.
Nim Noelle likes to watch.
And Noelle likes to watch, and so he's probably gonna be helping out with the whole, taking all of the crates out and getting stuff out of the way, and probably talking out loud to Noelle, and subsequently maybe Tewa, talking about all the things that he wants to do now that they're on shore leave.
Tewa's stealthing.
Jesus Christ.
You know what would be funny is they just know that Tewa's there, but just ignore him.
Like they have to know. But no, maybe Noelle doesn't. But Nim's a ranger.
So it would be like Tewa's, not Tewa, but Nim saying like, "Alright, so after we do all this, we're definitely going to have to sell some of these extra things that we found over in the Feywild, because I'm pretty sure they're going to serve us pretty petty. Since I don't need this longbow anymore, I've got a magical one."
Yes, but don't you want to hang it on the wall or something? Some sort of a memento?
What wall?
When we get a wall of our own, we'll need a place to put all of our trophies.
Yes, but this isn't a trophy. This is just a really bad longbow.
Are they gonna get a little gay cabin in the woods?
It's not a bad longbow. It's well loved.
Yes, well, it creaks in weird ways, and the string is very snippy.
Yes, but that gives it character. Think of it. A plaque hanging in the yawning portal. This is the first longbow used by Nim the magnanimous ranger from the Underdark.
Why would we have a trophy that is exalting me in the third person if it's going to be in our own home? As if it was like a museum piece.
Well, no, I'm saying when we get to Waterdeep, and when we purchase a manor house, we'll go down to the Yawning Portal, and of course they'll want to hear all about our adventures.
A manor? You think we can afford a manor? We don't exactly have your royal funds anymore.
Yes, but I mean, how much could a manor house really cost?
How much do you think it costs?
An amount of gold, presumably.
Yes, but do you think it's more than 5?
Yes, it's more than 5. My great sword cost more than that, surely.
Do you know how much your greatsword costed?
It was provided to me by my house. Now we can talk about all the logistics later.
A
And
5 gold great sword.
Yeah, he will
5 gold. Cost
kinda
5
comes up-
monies.
He kind of comes up
So
behind you
many
and like wraps you up, like, and he's like, "We can talk about that later." And he starts rocking back and forth on
A
his on the balls of his
$500
feet.
sword.
Do you think a manor costs more than 10 gold?
Yes.
500?
Don't make me do math this early.
What's math?
What?
What's math?
It was something about. Doesn't matter.
Yes, well, there's still other things that we need to sell and get rid of, so that way we keep packing light.
Yeah. He seems like he's suddenly got something on his mind.
What?
Imagine like Tewa like 5 times has tried to like say something and then has stopped himself.
From behind a bush.
Like yeah, like you're about behind like
Some crates.
crates or a corner of a building or something like that.
It's just that I don't. How much does it cost to keep a badger alive?
Well, all things considering, Joe's very self-sufficient.
Well, that's what I was thinking, but then I started thinking, is that something we need to worry about?
I suppose it's something that we need to consider.
I'm sick of all this considering. I'm sick of all.
Imagine like Tewa just kind of like leans further back into the shadows at that.
I don't know what to say about that. And I know it's frustrating because we don't have an answer. Yes. But right now, at this moment, we don't even know if we're gonna have tomorrow.
If you need money, you can just, probably take some of what is on the ship with the captain.
Just take some of V's money.
If you need money for a manor in Waterdeep.
Yes. Do you know how much a manor in Waterdeep would cost? Ballpark?
He just shakes his head at that.
How about a manor in Shadowfell?
I wouldn't expect you both to stay there.
Just a ballpark number.
Possibly free, depending on who I talk to.
I know from free, and free is a lot less than 5 or 500 or anything like that.
I want to say something.
He kind of like he's like staring at the ground and just has like one arm crossed over himself and kind of grabbing his other arm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Tewa, you're free to talk. You have always been free to talk to us.
I don't know exactly what you both saw in your dreams. Outside of what I might have heard. But it's very clear to me that you two both feel a lot for each other, and that's fine, and it's what I expected, and it's what I knew before this, and he kind of gestures briefly, happened. And I don't want to put you both in that sort of position again, because I don't like seeing you both hurt because of someone like me who I can't even love right, apparently. And I don't know how to fix that, and I don't know how to be what you both want me to be, because I don't think I feel the same way that you both do. And I don't know if that's because that's just how I was raised, or if there's something else wrong with me. I just know that I care about both of you. I just don't know if I care about you too, like how you two care for each other. And I'm sorry.
If I may speak for a moment. I would like it if you can get that out of your silly head that you did something to us, put us in harm's way.
I did put you in harm's way.
Let me finish.
He doesn't see your hand. He's just staring at the floor.
Let me finish.
Staring.
Let me reassure you that what we did was by our choice. You didn't make us. You didn't twist our arm. You didn't even bat your pretty eyelashes at us. We chose to help someone that we consider pretty important to us. So you didn't force us. Sure, we were in danger, but we were all in danger, and it was terrifying to say the least, but I would do it again. I'm sure Noel would do it again.
You shouldn't.
And why shouldn't we?
Because both of you are expecting things of me that I don't even know if I can do. And it's not right, and I just feel like I'm hurting both of you.
Tell you what, perhaps that was me. I am not used to a life where I am not necessarily the most important person, but one of a few. That's fine. I've been told that that's more typical. But being told one thing all your life and then having to experience something else, it causes a bit of confusion sometimes. And when things aren't always the way that they always were, you start to think that something's wrong, something's irreparable. But I can only say what I know, which is that if it weren't for the interference of a cheeky little shit from the Shadowfell, that I would probably be dead. That I would be married to a horrific beast. And that I would have lived out my days without rekindling a very important relationship to myself. and finding another one along the way. So for that, I say,
Thank you.
that's the one.
His head's still kind of tipped down, and I don't think he knows how to accept thanks like that.
Tewa, you don't have to say anything. And it's probably inappropriate for us to have expected or demanded some sort of response from you when you're not ready, or when you just can't. And I think it's important for you to know that the companionship that we have, the three of us, and subsequently the companionship that we have with the rest of the crew, is greatly important to us. Deeply important to us.
And I know that your queen is deeply important to you. And that's something I wouldn't want to take away. It would be like separating me from my sword, or Nim from me.
I just wanted her to be important to you too. Like how you wanted me to be important to Nim, and I'm sorry.
Tewa, what you just told us, the way that you told it to us, the way that you care, that's your way, and I think we understand that now. And it doesn't have to change anything.
That's entirely up to you both. I don't want you two to think like you need to maintain a status quo if you don't feel like you're not getting something out of the bargain.
Well, to be fair, I don't even know what the status quo is.
So we only just crawled out of the Underdark, what, a month ago at this point? 2 months?
It's been more than that.
Yes, well. Status quo is something for common folk to worry about. People with schedules. I've never worked that way.
Technically, you've never worked a day in your life.
Yes, well, when you love what you do. Anyway, what this is, by all accounts, abnormal, but I think rather special. So I am willing to meet her if that is what you would like. Though I've not exactly prayed before.
It's easy, I can show you.
Yes.
Well, maybe I'm going to need to get a little drunk before I decide to start praying to something or other, but...
You heard what V said. There's going to be some sort of revelry happening.
And perhaps during the revelry?
We split off and confess? Is that how this usually goes?
Does she
No.
take confessions?
No. I just talked to her.
So do we just talk to her?
Yes. Help me tell her who she used to be.
Well, there's books, right?
What'd you say?
There's books, right?
No.
I'm not going to remember everything.
We only know the story. We're the only ones that know her story.
We can stop there? I hope she rather enjoys my salacious tales. I bet if we spice it up a little bit, she'll be very interested.
Exactly. We talk about the ugliness of that brutal high priest. What was his name? Kevin something or other?
I think his name was Remy.
Sure.
That's the one. Yes, yes. And of course, her daring rescuers need to be worked in. Though, does she remember that part, or is it sort of a short-term situation?
I don't know. I suppose we'll have to see.
Well, I'm sure we can flourish it up a little bit, you know, add some sparkles.
Exactly. You've never had a better story told than by the champion of House to Earn. In fact, did I tell you about the time that I single-handedly slew 3 hook horrors?
I don't think he wants to hear that. Tewa, do you want to walk with us?
I imagine he kind of like he lifts his head finally, just like barely enough for like his hair to kind of move away from his face, and both of you will see kind of like the barest amount of a smile and like tears that are kind of like were going down his face, and he kind of just goes over to both of you and kind of very abruptly takes both of your hands, and he just starts walking.
Okay.
Dragging behind.
It has 2 hands.
Tewa does have 2 hands. As kind of being dragged behind Nim for the first time in a few days, you see Noel kind of crack a bit of a smile as well.
He's like a puppy dog. His tail's just starting to wag right now.
He's getting validation. That's all he needs. Yeah, and I think that's where we'll cut that scene off for right now.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously we can do the revelry either on camera or off, whatever you guys decide.
I think the only thing that I would like is for Gorm to say some sort of like cheers for Ollie.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah. Well, what I meant was your guys' timed, like your prayer session. But we'll think about it because we do have one more scene before we get to the revelry.
Yeah.
As we see in the shipwright itself, where the Taustock is all but complete. In fact, it's ready to launch pretty much on your command. Keaton, you are with access to better materials, managing to work more on your sort of beacon. And as you're kind of in there, again, I think kind of alone, you hear clattering and clanging as you hear sort of the frazzled sounds of Tefir making his way into the sort of main dry dock area with just an armload of fucking gizmos and what's-its galore. As
We'll just like turn at the loud clatter.
Yeah. And he like drops everything and says, "Oh God, you're all back."
Yes, we just got back a while ago.
Oh yes, I was in the storeroom doing some evaluating of things. But yes, you're. How did it go?
I have a set of armor that I can actually wear. Once more of a pauldron.
Oh, that is fascinating. And he comes up and he kind of like tippy toes tries to reach
will lower themselves.
Yeah, and as you kind of do, he's able to kind of like pop one off and take a look at it and like, oh.
It's from the goddess of death herself.
Oh, so you made your
I've
way.
met to God in a way.
Wow, that's wonderful. That's quite a lot more than perhaps even I expected from when I woke you up, or Perhaps you were already awake. I just let you out, but what was it like?
Well, we went into a twisted tower of memories thanks to an abomination of a star.
Yes, the Akamar that we're going to be dealing with soon enough.
I wish everybody said his name wrong just so that we can give him less power.
Akamir.
Akamir, yeah.
Acme.
Shut up.
I know that you are supposed to look towards the future rather than dwell in the past, but I've been wondering. I know that you've worked with a illithid for some time, and I was wondering what was in it for you in my creation.
Oh no, it is true that I worked with the Alhoun, but I had nothing of a hand in your. I must confess that when you found me in that bunker, that underground complex, well, it was not the first time I found myself in, let's say, non-consensual captivity.
Whoa, Dad. Let's not talk about your weird stuff.
Shut the fuck. The illithid have a penchant for taking servants, those that they find useful, though the Alhoun was a bit of a different case, a wretched undead thing, very interesting in the illithid community, considering it was arcane rather than psionic magics, but I won't bore you with the details. In any case, it needed a mind such as mine. Not necessarily to consume, at least I hoped, but trying to find a way to, through artifice, extend its already unnaturally long existence. Have you ever, in your recent travels, been familiar with the concept of a lich?
No, but
I heard you can't lit your elbow.
I've heard they get stitches. But
no, it sounds not pleasant.
Yes, arcane magic users who don't see much use in a life that ends, trying to extend their existence and their power beyond the grave. And that creature was part of the way there, but it needed more. It needed a way to store its soul, and but I won't bore you with the details.
It probably bores you with the details again.
I'll just say it's a very complex artificial ritual that no one quite knows. So in exchange for my assistance, it let me live. But its experiments were fascinating, bringing life to the lifeless. And when I saw, well, you, I suppose, though it might not have been you at the time, I saw something else that didn't deserve to be kept against its will. It deserved to grow and flourish on its own.
I fear that my subconscious might have held on to the fact of my purpose at that time.
Yes, well, your original purpose is lost.
Thankfully.
Yes, I suppose it's hard to get psychic impressions out of yourself. I'm not all that familiar with psionics, but I know that it affects the cerebral cortex more than... I won't bore you with the details.
To. Oh, Dad.
The point is that you have achieved far greater sentience than even I thought possible. I mean, look at you. You're wearing clothes now. That's not something I taught you.
No, it isn't.
Lord knows you didn't learn it from
I
Taylor.
could wear clothes, but I would have to focus on actually attaching myself to the clothes. But, like you say so many times today, I won't spare you the details.
And you've also become quite a witty one.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this.
And he just kind of like looks up at the ship.
And he says, even in my dreams, I don't think I could have designed something like this on my own.
Well, I did take some inspiration from the more organic parts that we arrived with.
Yes. Regrettable though that was.
It was still impressive. Regardless, I've been thinking since in my twisted memory I was melted down to a puddle on the floor. Thinking that perhaps the armored one of your creations had a point. Maybe I should find a way to protect myself better.
You mean, some sort of an exoskeleton? To keep you, together?
More or less.
Well, if you've, uncovered things such as this, and he kind of like pats the pauldron again, though they be magical in nature, it wouldn't be difficult to perhaps suss out what they're made from. I suppose something like that could be done. Of course, you'd lose the benefits of your amorphous nature, but is
Well, but
that
I'm sure if
something?
they crack me open, I can always try to flee.
I suppose so. Do you know what the sign of a truly living creature is? The pinnacle. Self-actualization. The knowledge of what you are and what you'd like to become.
That's so simple.
Nothing is so simple, but if anyone were to be able to figure out if it were, it would be, I think, you.
There's so much to self-actualization and, the meaning of life, but I won't bore you with the details.
Bored with.
Become Mega Man. He is your Dr. Light.
Would you
but-
actually like to test with me the beacon? I still want to make sure we have enough light to perhaps singe a kraken.
Oh yes, I see what you've done here with the focal lenses of a telescope. It's quite good work, but perhaps we could even focus them further. I'll tell you what. I'll see if I can make a few tweaks and revisions to the design, and we should be able to launch her at first light.
I'll help you just in case you want to take another break.
No, my dear. I've been taking a break for far too long. Waiting for you to get back. No. Now that you're back, you take your rest. I hear that there's to be a celebration for Mr. DeFleurs.
Right. I'm not much for social interactions, but I will linger in the back.
Well, another
experiment potentially to be run. Have you
For
ever
what
tested how
purpose?
much alcohol you can intake?
I was wondering if he was gonna ask that. You want to get
I'm
crunk?
assuming. I'm assuming a lot based on my high constitution.
Yes.
I don't know what that means.
That sounds like meta.
Oh, you can say constitution.
Say constitution.
But he says, well then, if for nothing else, if you're not gonna find a way to enjoy yourself with your friends, run a few tests for me, will you?
All right,
Get drunk.
I'll think of something.
That's my boy. Well, my
He
Zapier.
pats. Gets stuck.
Well, that's my Zapier. Go on then. I'll get this all prettied up.
All right. And they'll like begrudgingly like leave the workspace.
Mm-hmm.
Stop working.
Yeah. But eventually, as you kind of make your way out there, it is time at last, as everybody has kind of finished up for the day, as dusk begins to fall. The party is in like full swing, and by full swing, it's a bit odd. It is kind of awake.
Yeah, throw a party. It's
Yeah,
what
right.
Ollie would have wanted.
It is gonna, yeah.
It's a very,
But
it's a
eventually,
very New Orleans style.
yeah. But eventually, as everybody is kind of like slightly somberly hanging out, Gorm, yes, will take kind of the top position here, like the stage, if you will, and say, well, come on then. Aren't we supposed to be celebrating? Now, in all my years, I've never seen a less enthusiastic group to be having free alcohol on a beach. For the God's sake.
Is
It's not a
Oro there?
funeral. What's that?
Is Oro there?
Oh yeah, everybody is there. And we will
'Cause
get
I'm
to
going
Oro
to
also
assume
in
a
minute.
plot thing is happening here as well.
Oh, it will. But he says, for God's sake, it's not a funeral. Well, I mean, you know what I mean.
How's Oro feeling? Will he dance?
I don't know because I don't know what conversation he had before this.
Okay, so what June is going to do?
We'll do a flashback after this, by the way.
Okay.
Depending on how Oro feels, whatever, she's gonna get the Underdark boys to get up. At least Noelle.
He will.
Yes. And she's a little bit of a hype man right now. She's trying to get people to like get up and dance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how one would do that because I am a party pooper personally. So
You start dancing aggressively at him, and then he takes it as a challenge, and then dances back. You challenge him to a
I'll
Pokemon battle.
I'll tell you what, actually, for the sake of mystery, Oro has not been able to find Vosky today. Yet.
elusive.
He's an elusive one.
Mm-hmm.
So this is before your conversation.
So this means that Oro is pretty much just
Oro's
stressing.
not in a good mood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oro's been kind of like contemplating.
And I mean that's why Gorm's saying everybody's being somber and fucking
Yeah.
sticks in the mud.
Yeah.
I mean,
June's
Jansen's
anxious
probably
too.
somewhere crying.
Oh,
I mean, Count's probably there drinking if he's allowed.
is
He's
Trinity
allowed?
there? Is
Yeah, Trinity can
Ajax
drink
there?
too, dude. Yeah.
Cool. They're
We
gonna
can
they're gonna
prove
make
him.
baby number 3 now.
June will kind of go over to Ajax and try and get him to at least come just jump around with her.
Yeah,
Or-
well, I don't know how well you're gonna get Ajax to do that, but you can. I mean, the kids love you. Cygnus is there at the very least.
Cygnus will-
You know your
Yeah,
adopted
do it.
child that you forgot about?
Fuck
I'm
Ajax.
sorry,
I dance with
don't
Cygnus.
Oh, she'll get both of them. She'll
Uh,
kind of grab the kids. I feel like she has one of the babies, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, stool.
Yeah.
I'm adopted.
I imagine she probably has Mikhail
Yeah.
just kind of on her hip, giving
Mhm.
Trinity a bit of a break.
Yeah.
And it's just playing with the kids to try and
Mhm.
get people to just be like, hey, look, we're having fun.
Yeah. Count's got Nikolai. Like, yeah.
At
It's
the
so
bar,
the
naturally.
kids will kind of like begin like maybe hopping around with you. He says, "That's more like it." Now look, I know that on Vanguard we've lost people before. You have, and you and me, all of us. And I have never seen such a piss-poor celebration of life as I see right now. Now think about who it is that we've lost. The Flower Child themselves.
Oh,
Now,
sounds like,
think
I
about-
don't know, just...
Think about what Ollie would want. Right now, I'm not a musician, or at least not as much as I used to be.
Oh no.
But
Let's make him sing.
I do have, a little something, maybe that I've. Look, just he will pull out a like a rather large what? It's
Pull
not
it out.
pull it out. It's fucking like next to him.
Pulls it out of void space.
Yeah, it's hammer space. He pulls out
He just
like
reaches behind him.
a rather large, like a lute. It seems
He
for
pulled
some
it out of
kind.
his ass, imagine that.
But he says,
Hey, what are you doing?
"Now, I say, there's no better way to honour a bard than with a bit of dancing." And he will start like plucking away at the lute, and it's not great. It's not amazing, but he will start to do it. He will start to kind of sing like what appears to be some kind of an orcish drinking song, like in orcish, and it's not great, but
It's not great.
eventually some of the orcs, some of the more rowdy ones, start kind of singing along, and in general the mood sort of lifts a little bit as he starts kind of stomping his feet. Yeah, it's a lot of gruff, and eventually the party
Fuck
starts.
him one more time. Like, they
Yeah. The party starts moving and hopping, and people are able to finally get into it. Now, Oro, it has been all day.
And I'm assuming that any amount of sending that I didn't get a response.
It did not.
Okay. So I imagine that he stayed for the speech about Ollie.
Yes.
And then once everyone finally starts losing their minds to the alcohol and to the dance, he gets up and goes over to V and kind of just whispers down to him. And he'll say,
Now, I don't mean to alarm you, but I can't find him. He was supposed to be here, and he's the type of person that has a big personality, likes to make a grand entrance. So the fact that he's not here, and didn't take over this speech, I'm worried. I'm gonna give one more look about the island. The only place I haven't really looked is the mountain, and I hope he's not there, but he might. So I'm gonna go do that.
Do you need me to go with you?
If you want, but I don't want to take you away from.
he like looks over and at everything.
I don't want to take you away from the celebration.
Yeah, but this is kind of important too.
Then you stay here, and if I don't find him, then I'll send you a message.
All right.
Wonderful.
He kind of just does like a on his big meaty
Hack pap.
lightning shoulder. Goes static.
needs to stop.
But yeah, you kind of make your way around, and yes, you do another quick look about the crowd in the village, and you do not see him. And you set your sights on the mountain. June, you weren't here a second ago.
Yeah,
but
I was feeding Angie.
that's okay.
Angie.
Oro is obviously worried that he can't find his husbando. So he is ditching the party to go climb the mountain to see if he's there.
Find the old man on the mountain.
Yes. Does June want the very old man? Does June want to go with? To sneakily follow? What's the deal?
She'll ask if he wants her to accompany him part of the way.
So she would have to catch him on the way to leaving.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
can see. I think as you're bouncing around with some of the kids,
Literally
you
could just hand me a baby.
yeah.
Yeah, she'll hand the baby off to V.
It's Mikhail over to V.
Aww. And yeah, because you see Oro like walking with purpose in the distance.
She'll kind of like quickly swing by V, gracefully and effortlessly pass the baby onto him, and then bound to a stop in front of Oro.
We just see her pass the camera, and V is sitting, and then suddenly has a baby in his arm and like looks down.
Yeah.
But yes, you make it to Oro.
An instant bond is formed.
Yeah.
Are
It's your
you?
new dad.
I thought you were doing the dancing and revelry thing.
I can feel the anxiety off of you.
Yes.
And he'll say the same thing that he did to V about how like Vosky's the type of person that makes a grand entrance and all that shit. And he'll say,
So, yes, I'm a touch worried. Where he could be, what he's doing, how he's feeling.
Well, do you want me to accompany you part of the way?
Maybe cautiously. You see,
Yeah.
I'm worried that he has taken, perhaps a more native form, and you know how dragons are, they tend to eat things when they're angry or hungry. He stress eats a lot.
Well, does he eat plants?
He might mistake you for something more than a plant.
She'll just kind of nod slowly, taking that in. Well, I'll be careful and accompany you, and we'll see how it goes.
All right.
Okay? And she'll kind of gently like place a hand like cup his cheek
he
and just smile at him.
he smiles, but like you can tell like it's one of
It's a
those
strained one.
those strained, nervous kind of smiles.
Oh yeah,
Shows a little bit too much fangies.
it's like a grimace.
Yeah. And we're going up the mountain.
Yeah,
Yes.
you scale the mountain path, and you can still see like the fire of the revelry down below. They're like ants to you. You feel on top of the world. Anyway,
Oh, no,
you make your way up, and then
I mean, based on
Yeah,
how old
may-
I am.
yeah, I mean maybe June stays outside the cave, basically.
Yeah.
But Oro, as you kind of make your way inside, you've actually never been in here, right?
No.
I don't think so. Yeah.
He said no reason to go in here.
Yeah. But as you kind of make your way inside, and kind of down through, or not, it's not terribly winding, but it just kind of goes down deep a little bit. It opens into like a massive cavern, stalactites, stalagmites, and absolutely full of like bones and remains and detritus. But through the sort of moonlight, like coming in through the roof, you see on in the center, which is almost kind of like on a carved out almost dais, you see a humanoid figure, just sort of looking about.
I'm assuming that's him.
Yes, it's him. I'm sorry.
Oro is going to he breathes a sigh of relief. And I think if he was younger than 2,000 years, he would rush over and be like, "Oh my god, like, why didn't you tell me you were here?" But he kind of like leans up against the opening of the cavern, and he watches him for a bit to kind of see what he does, or if he talks to himself, if he has any kind of crazy dragon monologue.
He as you kind of stand there for a moment, he begins to speak. He was silent this whole time. He begins to speak clearly to you, but he doesn't really turn his attention toward you as he kind of looks around the cavern. He says, "You know, it is an interesting thing to see the lair of a dragon killer up close."
Well, I must admit, I didn't think that this is where you were going to be spending all of your time, but what is your take?
Whatever lived here must have been very, very old.
Well, not as old as us.
Perhaps not. But perhaps so. I trust you enjoyed yourself at the ceremonies down in the village. The festivities, I mean.
No, actually, I was quite bereft with stress, wondering where you had gone off to.
I'm just not feeling terribly social today.
He kind of like looks off to the side briefly before kind of gesturing to the air.
Might I approach?
You have never asked before.
Well, I've never seen you in such a horrible mood.
And he pushes away from the wall and starts making his way over.
And why should I be in cheery mood?
I'm not saying that you should. In fact, I think that I was expecting you to be the exact opposite. So, there's always opportunities for different moods and feelings.
And he kind of tries to like go around to the front to kind of see his face, to see if there's any kind of like tellings on his face.
Roll me an insight.
Oro, are you good at... Nope.
I'll give you advantage. He is your husband, after all. And he's notoriously hard to read.
I don't think I have any plus ones or anything. No.
You don't get much from him. He's oddly stony-faced, which itself is odd. He's usually, kind of... he's a big personality.
Mm-hmm.
He seems oddly contemplative tonight.
Okay. Oro kind of sees that, and he sighs, and he tries to bring up both of his hands to kind of cup both sides of his face, to kind of get him to, like, look towards him. And he'll say...
As you bring up your hands, he will gently grab your wrists, but turn toward you.
Okay. He does this to kind of act like he's tickling his cheeks.
Yeah.
And he smiles ever so slightly, and he's like,
You can be honest with me. You can tell me if we're on the precipice of some sort of world calamity. But I do want to tell you about the things that we managed to accomplish.
Perhaps we can save that for the meeting.
We could, if you want to be, surprised.
I don't care to be surprised by anything else. What I will say, though, is that yes, we are on the precipice of great change.
Change isn't necessarily always a terrible thing. Though,
his eyes kind of briefly kind of flitter around before kind of focusing back to him.
I need to know what you want me to do next. After all, he sent me here for the Storm Sparrow.
Yes. And now I am to be here in his stead, I suppose.
He sucks in like a breath at that, and he looks contemplative because he doesn't, or does not like hearing that. And he'll say,
Well, we'll just have to make sure that we do things right this time. Now, go on, tell me what I need. What is my next phase?
Perhaps I'm not in the mood to meddle in the affairs of mortals. Perhaps...
Oh no, we're doing this. Okay.
Perhaps the universe is telling us something now that it has taken Sungrad the Wing, one of the 7 gold worms of Bahamut, away. Perhaps he should never have come here in the first place. Perhaps his hopes were misplaced.
he kind of like, he takes in a small breath at that, and he'll say,
Darling, you know as well as I that your father did this for a very good reason.
Yes, would that he would ever share such a thing. But now, the heavens are in disarray. I can only imagine, as Bahamut has never had but 6. Whether the duty falls to me, I do not know. But I am here.
What do you want?
What I want is an end to all of this cosmic nonsense. What I want is for there not to be a fucking calamity on our doorstep every decade, every century, every millennia even. What I want is rest, Ouroboros. Do you not want rest after all this time?
Oh, believe you me, I would love it more than anyone. I would love for the world to suddenly get along and for all of the bad things in it to stop. But that's not how life works. You know that more than anyone. There's good and there is bad. There will always be something more to strive for. Otherwise you become stagnant. If I had become stagnant, you never would have fallen in love with me.
So there.
That is true, yes.
So let's not fall into those sort of proclivities.
and he tries to like, he tries to like touch, like reach for his cheeks again.
You do that, you kind of tickle, and then for a moment he kind of snaps at your finger.
Just takes one finger off.
Well then, how today do we strive to better the world?
Let's not think about that yet. After all, that's supposed to be for the war table. However, do you want to make your grand entrance and to inspire the Storm Sparrow by scaring the living daylights out of him? Do you want to?
You know, I do love to stretch my wings, but I
then
feel
I
it
could ride
might...
on your back and we'll make a grand entrance.
Oh, come, darling. You know I never let anyone ride on my back.
You're
In
right.
public.
He kind of snorts. He's like,
I could always just hang off your neck. I've done that before.
Well, I think perhaps it would be uncouth
Get a
for me to
room.
make an entrance. Yeah, well, we got a cave. It would be perhaps uncouth for me
Yeah,
to...
and the words can echo off the walls, and June can hear it outside.
And it's just waiting outside, like
Yeah, I would...
playing
Yeah.
with dirt.
It would be uncouth for me to make an entrance before you introduce her to me.
He sucks in a breath, and he kind of like, his fingers kind of like retract briefly, and he's like, I wasn't going to do that until I was
She
positive.
followed you all the way up. Why not finish the journey? After all, I need to see who it is that my lover is so taken with lately.
Husband, thank you very much. She's the lover. He taps your nose. And he's like, I just wanted to make sure that you weren't going to go vegan one day.
He might still go vegan though.
Beat me to the joke, you motherfucker. But he says, no, I have no appetite for disarray this evening.
Okay. And he kind of like wiggles his hands briefly because he's still like caught.
Yeah. Lets them go.
He drops his hands briefly, and then he's gonna try again to like rush him, but to hug him that time.
He will acquiesce.
Okay.
And he will give you a soft but firm hug.
Mm-hmm. And Oro takes that opportunity to kind of to whisper to him, and he'll say, I'm sorry for what happened.
Not now, Oro.
I know. All smiles now. But
I always am.
good. Just know that that's how I feel. And
I know how you feel.
he'll pull back, and then puts on the smile again. And
Yeah.
I'll go get her. Goes back up.
When you come back down, you see a gold dragon, June. Of immense size.
Oh.
Big boy.
He's
June is like
flexing.
jittery with a kind of anxiety you've never seen before, and then it gets
Motherfucker's
worse.
flexing.
Oh, I didn't think he was going to. All right. June, this is. What is Dad's name again?
Songrad.
This is the first son of Songrad, one of the dragons of Bahamut. My husband.
She's just like doesn't know what to say,
She just
but she also doesn't want to clutch you for support because this is your husband who's a big ass dragon. So she's just kind of like playing with her hands.
I love Dragon Heat.
It's
A great novel.
It is Dragon Heat.
I hate you guys. It's very nice to finally meet you. I've heard a lot about you.
It is customary when you are meeting a dragon to offer tribute. What bring you?
Oh, I can't believe you're doing this. He whispers to himself. Go on,
She's just gonna look at Oro.
Oro does like the white guy blinking meme, but it's a snake instead. He would like tribute, June.
She's just gonna turn.
And stare into the camera.
He is like, though Oro knows what he's doing, the dragon is not fucking dropping facade. He is scary.
How big is he in comparison to Dad?
He's a little bit smaller. He is an adult gold dragon, not an ancient gold dragon.
Still
Okay.
pretty fucking big.
Pretty
He's still
fucking huge.
gargantuan.
Like he can't get out of this cave.
Yes.
Yeah, he's stuck in
He's
here.
looking stuck in here now.
I can't say I was aware of your Mortal Plains dragons customs. I'm only quite familiar with Fey dragons, and she'll kind of make like so she's gonna furrow her brow at Oro again. Like, are you serious?
He just smiles and give him them. He likes magic things.
He likes flashy things?
Magic.
What am I supposed to... her new sword is on her back.
Yeah.
She's just gonna whisper and be like, I just got this.
Do you want him to eat you?
You're technically magic. Just pull off a pedal. That thing. That's the thing.
I mean,
Skimp out on your first meeting.
Exactly.
she's just gonna. So I have a few things I could do. I have, what the fuck is the sword?
Speak not further. What do you offer?
She's so irritated. She's not irritated. She's just.
She should be
dumbfounded.
scared shitless.
She is scared shitless. I have a flame tongue, and she will present the sword, and then kind of.
The dragon eats it.
Do this. Take a flower out of your hair and be like, I got this.
She'll draw her fingers across it, and it'll ignite with flame. She'll kind of do a few of her little movie moves.
Yeah, an idle animation with it.
Oh my god, I hate you. She'll do some faux combat maneuvers, like the ones she does when she trains people. And then
A
she will...
pretty curiosity. It still has strength of the weave in it. Perhaps I can make something of this. Lay it before me.
She will kind of... I don't know how she turns this shit off.
Flame off.
She'll stick it in the ground, and it'll just...
She quenches it.
Yeah, basically.
She just
Just
wipes
stab
it on
Aura
her
with it,
pant
it's
leg
fine.
and then it just turns
And this
off.
this girl never shows that much anxiety, but she's like quivering as this tiny plant shuffles in front of the dragon and kneels and places the sword.
He eats her.
Just fucking gone. Yum, yum, yum.
Hey, look, Gold Dragon's fire, and that's why Oro has fire, so he should like fire things.
A sufficient tribute, I suppose. Tell me, child, what is it that you wish?
I wanna fuck you. Or husband.
He's gonna look back at Oro.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like,
I want to get a few feet away.
she'll stand up again and kind of take a few steps back away from the sword. I guess you're... Richard, what the fuck are you doing? I guess you're blessed?
I offer you a wish, and you ask for something so petty and small.
She's gonna turn around and look at Oro
Is he fucking
and look at
with
the
me right now?
dragon.
Oro is trying his best to keep a straight face.
June be like, is this guy fucking with me right now?
So, like... What?
Listening to cuckold you.
Um,
Thought I was just meeting, your husband. This is your...
You are.
You're married.
Yes.
I don't...
yes,
Thanks.
we are.
I don't...
And you presume to ask upon me, blessing that you may take what is rightfully mine. As
I
he
don't wanna
says
take-
that, he kind of like firms up a bit, and his neck cranes up to an incredible height, and you see some flame begin to sort of snort from his nose.
I mean, respectfully, I would like to fuck your husband, sir.
Hey. I don't
Just
need a wish. I'm also very flammable. So, if you set me on fire, I probably will die.
Yeah, as most things would.
As most things.
He says, "You dare to insult Voski, first son of Songrad the Wing, Gold Worm of Bahamut.
Look, I was under the impression that we were sharing, so that's
In the
clearly...
at the moment that you say that, he bursts a
She's
gout
like-
of flame straight down.
She jumps right back. She, like, Misty steps backwards, not even realizing that she's doing it.
Yeah.
Sir,
he
we've adopted a child.
a gout of flame straight down that kind of causes this like this orb of fire to sort of swirl around the entire podium, and you hear his horrible voice says, God, his horrible voice kind of through the flames echoing through the cavern says, "For such insolence, there's only one thing that can be done." And
I have a child to take care of.
as you're shouting all these protestations, the flames suddenly begin to sort of dissipate, and you see a humanoid walking toward you, June.
Oro's
And he
just
says-
laughing.
He says, "And that is, I suppose, to welcome you into this ever-growing family, Miss Larkspur.
She's pissed.
And I have a gift to commemorate our meeting." And he reaches behind him and he gives you a flame tongue.
Oh, the best gift.
I trust you will make great use of it. It is
Fucking
not often that
re-gifter.
I bestow gifts upon those who try to steal my things.
She's going to lunge at Oro and tackle him.
Oro's gonna try to avoid.
Wait, why
getting
am
hit.
I getting tackled?
He's part of it. She can't tackle Vosky. She just met him.
Oro's laughing. He goes, this is the 7th time that you've done this, and it just gets funnier every time you do it.
The moment that you flash the wings and the scales, they turn to butter in your hands. All right, let's go to the party.
She's just kind of like poking both of them.
I'm not gonna lie. I when the fire happened, I imagine there's smoke coming out of the mountain, and like somebody like looks back like from the party, they're like, "What's going on over there?"
Why is
What
there
the heck?
smoke coming out of the mountain? Oh no!
It's not supposed to be about a volcano, right?
It's no.
Did that thing come
but-
back?
But with that, he
Do we
will.
have a new god? Like,
I think we'll cut back to the party now, and we see the party is kind of in full swing, and then yes, we do catch like one of the orcs like look up at the mountain and see like this smoke and actually like a gout of flame shoot out of it.
And then 5 minutes later, you see Vosky, June, and Oro bebopping their way down.
No. He sees like smoke and fire kind of shoot its way out of the of Hregedfell, and it causes like everybody to erupt into like a mild panic, as suddenly they all see a massive golden dragon flying down from the mountain peak, shooting gouts of flame left and right.
Oh my god!
Burning the
yeah.
island down to the ground.
Oh my.
No, I
Motherfucker.
said left and right, not down. But as he kind of like makes his way in, V, you can make out the sight of Oro and June clenched in its talons.
feel the jelly going the farthest fuck away.
Oh fuck!
Fire.
That's death.
That's melt.
And
Melt,
as he kind of like really lowly sweeps over the party, everybody kind of ducks, and
I'm
he
fucking
drops
flat at
June
that
and
point.
Oro off like unceremoniously. He kind of lets you guys like fall to the ground a little bit, as he goes for one big like shot back up into the sky, breathing flame all the way until he finally lights back down to the ground, and transforms back and says, "All right then, I suppose we have war to plan, yes?" And that's where we're gonna end it for tonight, I think.
What a prick. I love him. What a fucking asshole.
Thank you all very much for joining us on Gilded Tides. My name is Michael. I've been your dungeon master. I'm gonna hand it over to Jesse to take us out properly.
I'm just taking a moment to like enjoy looking at Dace sleeping in my arms. It was very.
You have been bestowed upon.
You can
have
show
been
him.
bestowed upon
I
you.
can't. I'm cradling him with both arms right now.
You can you do this. That's what I do.
You hefty.
Show the baby. Aw.
Oh,
He's
Abby.
Twitch. Look, he's dead.
Noodle.
God, he's so fucking big.
I know.
He's huge.
Man, There he is. Go back to bed, okay?
No.
Hey.
I'm adopted.
Victor's like, don't say that.
But hey, everybody, you were watching on Gilded Tides, which is super awesome. As per usual, we'll always do our sign off like we usually do, which is say who you are, say who you played, and what was your favorite part of the game. Michael.
Hey there. Oh, fuck. My name is Michael. I've been a dungeon master.
I'm the strongest. Not once did I yawn.
Fuck you. Thank you for, God damn it.
Did I start that? I'm sorry.
I think Jesse did. I don't know.
Jesse
You didn't see Jesse yawn though.
Jesse shouted when he did it. When you yawn, Taylor, it kind of like blocks your ears, which is the defense mechanism, so bugs and bad vibes can't get in.
Look at this boy.
Anyway, look at him. Yes, I had a lot of fun. I hope everybody enjoyed our completely roleplay and very kind of heavy episode in some points. But I think nice. There were a lot of like really cool developments. I think there was a lot of great character stuff, so I was very happy for that. I enjoyed playing Voski. I'm glad to bring him into the fold. I hope that he's okay. I know his introduction I know was a little maybe atypical for what I think the others maybe expect from the character, but he lost his fun.
No, I think it was fine, and I'll say this in the group that I said to you in private. I feel like Bosky and Oro have very big Silas and Ritter vibes.
Kind of, yeah.
So I think that
I feel like it makes sense.
Yeah.
Any chance to bring another fucking Scandinavian accent back into this mess? But yeah, you can catch me here every Friday, where we are alternating doing our Scion and our Vampire game, where I play alternately a very good lass and a very bad man, who is just getting worse. He's getting worse.
Look,
bad.
You're gonna have a disco soon, so only good.
I'm gonna have a
can
disco. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be hedonistic as fuck. It's gonna be luxurious.
I'm gonna be actually running it because I'm doing the checkbooks and the security and probably actually checking in with the workers to see how they're doing.
Workers, that's true. You're gonna ghoulify all the workers so they can't complain to
I'm
OSHA.
not. No, I'm talking about the normal ass workers, the ones that you're gonna stick in fucking cages. You pig.
They're fucking performers. We're paying them top dollar.
Faces like, are you know?
Vanessa's just mad because she doesn't think that sex work is real work. Anyway,
No, that's not the thing. Because people objectify.
Don't put words in her mouth.
That's true. I'm kidding.
How dare you?
Yeah, come join us for that, and then join us again, of course, on Monday for another fucking round of On Gilded Tides, where we're gonna leap headlong into the finale, which may or may not last several sessions. But yeah, that's it for me.
Oh, excuse me.
Yay! Thank you so much, Michael. As always, Jesus. Let's go over to Taylor.
I'm not crying. I keep yawning.
Tragic, honestly. Tragic. Everyone yawning.
Taylor.
Michael, stop.
So sad.
Hey, sir, you okay? Stop.
Taylor, it's
My
your
name's Taylor. I'm here every other Friday and every Monday. On every other Friday, I'm in Jesse's Immortal Odyssey game.
What's your favorite? what was your favorite?
My favorite part is being fucking got. I got. June got.
That was so
And
funny.
June doesn't know how dragons work. And June was like, is this
Don't
for real?
worry.
Are you shitting me? I'm not looking at you guys because I'm going to yawn if I do.
Oh, well, I'm looking at Nessie.
An angel.
And yeah, that's about it. Face is so fucking large. He
Why is
looks
that
like a
man
little
so
baby
big?
panther.
Yeah, he's
Why is
pretty-
this man so big?
He's
He
so-
man spreads everywhere
he's
too.
so big.
His little dumb baby face. You can just see his little mouth.
And his
Miss
teeth. You can
Nessie.
actually see his teeth.
Oh!
The little white pinpricks
Whoa.
on his mouth. Those are his teeth. Anyway, thank you
She
so
was
much,
fucking
Taylor.
nuts.
Always been
She likes to roll dice.
always
talented.
been real. Always real. Let's go over to Var.
Real bad.
I played Jelly, who
Jill.
had to think about is can I actually die? Will I die soon? Maybe.
I don't
I
want to
mean,
die.
if other people die, I can just like fix it for them and bring them back through some sort of way. But like that's another story. They're more concerned about themselves and what they've seen through their traumatic.
Sure.
And I also barely played Austin. But the little thing that I did is Fishwife. It's good.
Fishwife is here.
Hold on, let me get
Fishwife
my
is
ugly
here to
man.
stay.
Fishwife is life.
Fishwife is back. Fishwife has helped collect blood from squid. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be good.
Oh, goodness. There he is. Okay, got him.
You can catch me on the Fridays playing a scorpion who is not happy.
He is stressed.
A realm stole his land that was stolen from that realm. But it's his home, and he's, by God, is he going to try to get it back. And on the other Friday game, I play Vanessa, who does not like Michael's character. She is Bruja, and it's also a humanitarianist. But, you know.
I don't think they're ever gonna get along, and I am sad, but it's also just the way it is.
Maybe it'll take like about 50 years.
It'll take some time, probably.
Yeah. Maybe you'll get along by time, when the world's ending. It's fine.
Yeah, I'll just kill another werewolf for you, and then maybe you'll like me.
I'm the one who did the final blow. You got your bitch slapped into the floor.
That's right. I only did 90% of the fucking damage to that
Only
thing.
because you bit it like a loser. Like, don't you want to like?
That's not the real way to kill a fucking werewolf, you fucking coward.
You
Anyway.
just-
The
You
fuck
just-
else is a way to
you
kill
just
the goddamn
bit
werewolf?
the
Hey!
girl and hanged on like a little life-sucking
Are you
leech.
drinking Listerine?
You're drinking like the water that people put like barber tools in.
I didn't put enough alcohol to make it disinfectant my insides.
Why is it that color?
Because it's actually lean. Like,
Actually,
come on.
Windex.
What?
Julian, it's your turn.
Hi, I'm Julian, and I played the 3 boys that were different levels of stress. I had fun. I liked that both Count and Trinity both wanted to work things out in whatever way that they can. Be it, Tewa ends up being the one that rules, to getting Perseverance back, to the other option that I didn't think of was trying to bring Sarita back. But that'll
Uncle has a heart attack.
that'll be another thing to kind of consider. My favorite part was trolling June. At first I was very worried that Vosky was going to do the whole, like, we're going to go the nihilist route, and then we would have another antagonist on our hands. I was like, oh no, we're not letting you stay, Mr. Negative Pants, because then Akamar will get into your brain meat, and that'll be bad.
I was this close to writing it that way, but I figured we'd be
No.
a little bit of happy by the end of this.
Yeah.
Keep him happy.
So I was like, cool, I'm glad to fix that. You can catch me on various different places. I'm not going to mention BTM again because that's going to start another argument. But yeah, if you guys like that fun stuff, be sure to check us out for that this Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we're going to have a guest. Caleb is coming back, and it is going to entail the grand opening of the Gilded Cage. So, which is the disco that has been
Gilded Cage.
yes,
Am I right?
Yeah.
that's what Jackson wanted to name it because he's a big fan of
Of
the
Guild,
right? Adventure novels on Gilded Tides.
Right? God damn it.
Gonna connect the universes somehow.
Nice.
But you can also catch me over at Marine of One's channel. On Tuesday, we're doing a session 0 for a new game that hasn't come out yet. It's called Paths. So you guys, if you guys like D&D, check that out. You can also find me on Spongy Games on Saturdays for our Parslings campaign, and then on the Guild of the Phoenix every Sunday, flipping back and forth between Things for the Flood campaign and another Vampire the Masquerade campaign. So that's
That's it,
That's it.
I think.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Julian. And I was Jesse. I was. Yeah, I am. I was.
You're now Jebby.
I'm now
You're now
Jebby.
G.
G.
Or G.
KG.
No, just G.
Kenny G.
I played Nim and I played V. V being a very stressful boy. Nim being a surprisingly
Stressful
reasonable rock. Which was probably needed for that whole conversation to be reasonable and rational, maybe.
Nim is nothing if not adaptive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to describe Nim.
Adapt. Overcome.
He's a chameleon.
Achieve.
I had fun. I liked all the scenes that everybody played through. It was nice to see a little bit of that
Garbage man.
stress and that character
That's
development, like either stress from the events of the Feywild or just like the anticipation of what's to come. And I like how it sort of affected everybody in different ways. I'm looking forward to getting through this fight and getting through whatever Book 5 has entailed for us, so that all these people who we've grown to love and play with and just enjoy, I want to see them be happy. You know,
Let them be happy.
I want these characters to be happy. It's been over a year of On Gilded Tides time. It's about fucking time for them to get it.
This was episode 60, by the way.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's been over a year. It's about time for these people to get victory.
By punching Gil in the face.
By punching Gil in the face. So
That's step one.
I'm totally psyched and I'm ready to go. You can find me on this channel running Immortal Odyssey, which everybody's kind of mentioned. We're also on other channels like Gilded the Phoenix and possibly Smudging Games or Marina Once. I don't know which one it's going to be on, but we will be playing Paths, so that's going to be interesting to see. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. Give us a follow, give us a subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Release you from this fresh hell that is our stream. Everybody say bye-bye.